There comes a moment in life when you stop chasing and start claiming. A moment when you realize that everything you have been longing for, everything you have been praying for, everything your soul keeps whispering to you, already exists in the invisible realm, waiting for you to step into alignment with it. Not someday, not eventually, but now. And the way your life transforms the very second you begin to live from this truth is nothing short of miraculous. People think manifestation is about forcing something to happen. It's not. It's about remembering that your desires were placed within you for a reason. They are not random, they are not accidental, they are invitations. When you feel the desire for growth, for abundance, for love, for purpose, it's because that reality is already prepared for you on the unseen level. The universe does not tease you, it guides you. The reason most people struggle is not because their dreams are too big, but because their belief is too small. They wait for signs before they trust, for proof before they move, for guarantees before they claim what is theirs. But manifestation does not work that way. You don't wait for the evidence. You become the evidence. You don't wait for permission. You give yourself permission. You don't wait for life to confirm your worth. You walk as someone who is already worthy. That's the shift I want you to feel today. The shift from hoping to knowing, from doubting to trusting, from wanting to claiming. When you live as if it's already yours, you begin to elevate your frequency, your choices, your behavior, and your energy to match the reality you are calling in. Think about the times in your life when you knew something deep in your bones. There was no fear, no hesitation, no back and forth. You just knew. And because you knew, your actions became aligned. That level of certainty has a magnetic power. It pulls things toward you with a speed and precision you didn't think possible. That is the essence of manifestation, becoming the match for what you desire. Not someday, not once things improve, not once people validate you, but right now. When you shift your identity from someone who wants to someone who already has, everything changes. Your posture changes, your voice changes, your standards change, your boundaries sharpen, your decisions become cleaner, and life responds to that clarity. This world mirrors who you are being, not what you are wishing for. If you want abundance, you must step into the mindset of someone who is abundant. If you want love, you must embody someone who is deeply lovable. If you want success, you must carry yourself as someone who expects success, not because of arrogance, but because of alignment. Your inner world is the blueprint. Your energy is the architect. Your mindset is the builder. And your belief is the key that unlocks every door you once thought was locked. Most people sabotage their manifestations because they are living in the gap between desire and doubt. They say they want something, but act as if they are unworthy of receiving it. They visualize the life they want, but speak words that contradict that vision. They dream of abundance, but think like someone who is still struggling. You cannot call in a reality that you keep pushing away with your own disbelief. Everything changes the moment you decide to live as though the universe has already said yes. And let me tell you something, it already has. The question is, will you rise to the level of the life that is waiting for you? Will you choose faith when fear feels easier? Will you choose alignment when doubt is louder? Will you choose to embody your future instead of repeating your past? Because when you do, life bends, paths open, people appear, opportunities unlock, and what once felt impossible becomes inevitable. It's already yours, now live that way. There is a powerful shift that happens the moment you stop trying to attract what you want and instead assume the identity of the person who already has it. This is the law of assumption in its purest form, not imagination, not forced positivity, but embodiment. It means stepping into a version of yourself who no longer wonders whether things will happen, but lives as though they already have. When you do this, you stop vibrating at the frequency of lack and start moving at the frequency of fulfillment. You no longer chase your desire, you merge with it. And that energetic shift is what restructures your reality. Most people approach manifestation from a place of wishing. They hope, they dream, they visualize. But deep inside, their identity remains rooted in the old story. The story of someone who is still waiting, still struggling, still uncertain. That inner contradiction becomes the biggest block. When your desire and your identity don't match, the universe receives mixed signals. You say you want abundance, but still think like someone who never has enough. You want confidence, but speak to yourself with insecurity. You want love, but keep repeating the belief that you are unworthy or not enough. Manifestation cannot override the identity you continue to embody. The law of assumption invites you to step into the version of yourself who already crossed the bridge, the version of you who has already succeeded, already healed, already risen, already become. And when you assume that identity, something extraordinary happens. Your subconscious begins to rewrite its patterns. Your actions start to align effortlessly with your desires. Your decisions elevate, your energy expands. You no longer need to force change because your inner world is now aligned with the outer reality you want. You've become the version of yourself who belongs in that life. You must understand this. Life does not give you what you want. It responds to who you are being. Wanting creates distance. Being creates alignment. Simplest way to manifest is to decide, to choose, to claim, to embody a new belief so deeply that the old one loses power. You don't wait for the result to feel deserving. You feel deserving first. You don't wait for success to feel confident. You express confidence now. You don't wait for abundance to feel secure. You operate from security today. When you shift, the inside, the outside has no choice but to follow. Imagine waking up tomorrow and thinking, speaking, acting, deciding, and living as though the reality you desire is already your current life. Think about how differently you would move, how differently you would treat your time, how differently you would speak to yourself, how differently you would handle challenges, how differently you would carry your energy from room to room. That version of you is the portal to everything you are trying to manifest. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are willing to become. People often ask, what if I don't believe it yet? You don't need blind belief, you need willingness. Willingness to step into a higher version of yourself. Willingness to practice new thoughts. Willingness to release the old identity that has kept you small. Repetition creates belief. Belief creates embodiment. Embodiment creates reality. You do not fake it, you form it. You shape your energy into alignment with your desire until it becomes effortless. There is a version of you waiting, one who already lives in abundance, peace, joy, purpose, and clarity. One who already knows the universe is working in their favor. One who already trusts the timing, trusts the process, and trusts themselves. That version is not far. It is one identity shift away. And when you assume that identity consistently, confidently, and unapologetically, life begins to rearrange itself around your new frequency. Everything you desire is already created in the unseen. Your job is not to chase it, but to become the version of yourself who naturally attracts it. You don't manifest by force, you manifest by alignment. And alignment begins with one decision, it's already mine. The moment you live that truth, reality bends to meet you. There is an undeniable truth about manifestation that most people overlook. Your desire is not created by your thoughts alone. It is created by the energy you emit. Energy is not something you turn on only when you feel good. It is something you cultivate, protect, and strengthen every single day. When your energy is scattered, fearful, insecure, or inconsistent, even the strongest desire struggles to materialize. But when your energy becomes aligned, anchored in certainty, gratitude, and self-worth, your desire flows toward you with precision and speed. Manifestation is not a matter of waiting, it is a matter of matching. You must become vibrationally equal to what you seek. Energy alignment begins with awareness. Notice the emotions you carry. Every feeling has a frequency. Doubt lowers your frequency. Gratitude elevates it. Fear restricts your field. Confidence expands it. Anxiety closes the doors. Trust opens them. When you understand the emotional frequency of your internal world, you begin to recognize why certain desires feel close while others feel distant. It isn't because they are not meant for you, it's because your energy is not yet aligned with the level at which they exist. Just like a radio cannot tune into a station it isn't set to, your life cannot tune into a reality you are not energetically aligned with. People often assume alignment happens only when circumstances change. But alignment actually happens first, before the change. You do not wait for the journey to feel like the person you want to be. You feel like that person now, and the journey responds. You choose gratitude before the blessing arrives. You choose peace before clarity shows up. You choose trust before the outcome is visible. That is alignment. That is what draws your manifestations from the unseen to the seen. The fastest way to align your energy is to shift from seeking to becoming. Instead of asking, when will it come? Shift to, who must I be to receive it? When you anchor into that identity, your daily actions transform without force. You begin to say yes to opportunities that match your future rather than your past. You begin to protect your time with greater intention. You begin to remove yourself from situations that drain your energy. You begin to show up with a calmness that reflects inner certainty. And every time you align your behavior with your desired reality, you signal to the universe, I am ready. Your energy alignment also requires letting go. Letting go of impatience, letting go of comparison, letting go of the old story that says you must struggle before you receive. The universe responds to the frequency of openness, not desperation. Desperation repels, openness attracts. When you are desperate, you cling to the fear of what if it doesn't happen. When you are open, you settle into the truth of it is coming in the perfect time. The energy of patience is magnetic. It communicates trust, and trust is the highest currency in manifestation. Another powerful aspect of alignment is regulating the inner dialogue. Your self-talk is one of the strongest energetic signals you send out. If your words contradict your desires, your energy becomes fragmented. You cannot speak lack and expect abundance. You cannot speak doubt and expect confidence. You cannot speak limitation and expect expansion. Every word is a declaration, a vibration, a signal. Align your language with the reality you want. Speak from the version of yourself who already has what you desire. Let your words become a bridge, not a barrier. When your energy becomes aligned, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, your actions, your words, you become a magnet for the life that belongs to you. You no longer question the path ahead because your energy knows the destination. You no longer fear delays because your energy recognizes divine timing. You no longer chase outcomes because your energy carries the certainty of someone who knows it's already theirs. Alignment is not effort, it is surrender. And the moment you align your energy, your desire begins its journey toward you with unstoppable momentum. Living in the end is one of the most transformative manifestation principles you will ever master. It means stepping into the emotional, mental, and energetic state of the version of you who has already received the desire, not hoping, not wishing, not someday. Now, when you live in the end, you collapse the distance between where you are and where you want to be. You eliminate doubt because the outcome is already assumed. You eliminate fear because the result is already yours. And you eliminate hesitation because your future becomes your identity, not your dream. In the end means you no longer think like the old version of yourself. You stop replaying memories of limitation. You stop telling stories of lack. You stop identifying with past pain. Instead, you begin thinking from your fulfilled self. You begin imagining from the perspective of someone who already has peace, abundance, purpose, and clarity. When you think from success instead of about success, the shift is immediate. Your choices become elevated. Your boundaries become clearer. Your expectations become higher. And your inner state becomes unshakable. Your future self is not waiting for you at the finish line. It is available to you right now. The moment you emotionally assume the feeling of already done, something inside you changes. Your nervous system relaxes. Your mind becomes quieter. Your confidence expands. You move through your day differently, not in arrogance, but in alignment. You stop chasing and start becoming. You stop doubting and start embodying. You stop trying to convince the universe and start cooperating with it. That level of embodiment sends a powerful message. I am ready for the reality I am calling in. The real power of living in the end is that it neutralizes fear. Fear only exists in the gap between where you are and where you believe you need to be. When you live in the end, that gap disappears. You think, act, and feel from the state of fulfillment. And when your emotional signature reflects the end state, the universe responds by reorganizing circumstances around that vibration. Opportunities shift, people shift, timing shifts. Your life begins to bend toward the version of you that you are energetically embodying. To live in the end, you must practice emotional rehearsal. Ask yourself daily, how would I feel if it were already done? How would I move? How would I speak? How would I show up? What would I no longer tolerate? What would I no longer fear? These questions rewire your identity, and your identity is the true generator of your reality. When you live from the end, you become untouchable by temporary setbacks because you know the outcome is inevitable. You become immune to external noise because you are anchored in internal truth. You become unshaken by delays because you understand that the universe is aligning things behind the scenes. Living in the end also requires emotional discipline. You must choose the feeling of fulfillment even when evidence is not yet visible. You must choose gratitude even when circumstances have not caught up. You must choose confidence even when the old version of you tries to reappear. Manifestation is not about ignoring reality. It is about elevating your emotional state above reality until reality adjusts to match your state. There is a version of you, powerful, whole, aligned, fulfilled, who is already living the life you desire. That version exists beyond fear, beyond scarcity, beyond hesitation. When you begin living from that version now, your manifestation becomes not a question of if, but a certainty of when. And the moment you live in the end, everything else begins to move in your favor. Doubt is the silent thief of manifestation. It doesn't announce itself with loud warnings or dramatic moments. Doubt slips into your mind quietly, disguising itself as logic, caution, or realism. It whispers, what if it doesn't work? And the moment you entertain that thought, you begin disconnecting from the energy of the outcome you want. Doubt weakens your vibration. It interrupts your alignment. It disrupts the flow of what's already meant for you. The greatest block between you and your manifestation is not timing, not circumstances, not ability, it is doubt. But here's the truth. Doubt only exists where trust has not yet been cultivated. To eliminate doubt, you must build trust in three directions: trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust in the unseen. When you trust yourself, you stop questioning your worthiness. When you trust the process, you stop fearing the journey. When you trust the unseen, you stop doubting the outcome. Trust is not a feeling, it is a practice. It is a daily choice to align with faith instead of fear. Most doubt is born from old stories, stories you've carried for years, stories shaped by past disappointments, stories created by people who didn't understand your potential. These stories keep you trapped in patterns that do not belong to the person you are becoming. To remove your blocks, you must rewrite these internal narratives. When a thought appears that says, "It won't happen," respond with, "It is already happening in ways I cannot see." When a thought says, "I am not enough," replace it with, "I am more than prepared for what I am calling in." Every time you challenge doubt, you weaken its influence. Another major block is emotional resistance. Many people want a new life, yet they hold on to emotions that belong to the old one. Fear, shame, guilt, resentment, frustration. These emotions create energetic friction. They anchor you to old timelines. You cannot carry past emotional baggage into a future reality that requires freedom, expansion, and openness. To release emotional resistance, practice acknowledgement instead of suppression. When you feel fear, don't fight it, recognize it. When you feel anxiety, breathe through it. When you feel doubt, observe it without becoming it. When you acknowledge emotions without merging with them, they lose their power. A powerful way to remove manifestation blocks is through clarity. Unclear desires create unclear outcomes. The universe responds to certainty. Speak your desire with precision. Feel it with intensity. Visualize it with detail. The clearer your energetic signal, the faster the manifestation responds. Ambiguity slows down the process. Certainty accelerates it. You must also address the subtle block of unworthiness. Many people consciously want abundance, but subconsciously believe they do not deserve it. They want love, but secretly fear they are not lovable. They want success, but carry guilt for surpassing others. This internal conflict creates energetic misalignment. You cannot receive what you feel unworthy of. To break this block, affirm your inherent worth. Worthiness is not earned, it is natural. You don't receive because you prove your value. You receive because you are aligned with the truth that you already carry value. Another manifestation block is impatience. Impatience sends the message that you don't trust the timing. It communicates fear disguised as urgency. When you feel impatient, pause and remind yourself, if it's already mine, there is nothing to rush. Patience is not waiting, it is energetic stability. It keeps you aligned while the unseen pieces assemble. Removing blocks is not a one-time event, it is a continual practice. But once doubt, unworthiness, fear, and resistance begin to dissolve, your energy becomes clearer, stronger, and more magnetic. You begin attracting outcomes that once felt distant. You begin experiencing synchronicities that confirm your alignment. You begin stepping into a life that was always yours, but now your energy is finally open enough to receive it. There comes a moment on every manifestation journey when the shift becomes irreversible, when you fully embody the truth that what you desire is already yours, not partially yours, not potentially yours, already yours. And the moment you embody this truth, you immediately rise into a higher state of consciousness where doubt cannot survive, where fear cannot dominate, and where limitation no longer feels familiar. Embodying this truth is not about pretending. It is not about forcing yourself to think positive thoughts. It is about stepping into a deeper understanding of how reality is created. Manifestation is not a transaction, it is a realization. The moment you realize that your desire exists energetically, you stop begging for it. You stop chasing it. You stop questioning it. You begin walking through life with a silent confidence, an inner assurance, a grounded knowing that the physical world is simply catching up to what your energy already holds. To embody the truth that it's already yours, you must treat your desire as something that belongs to you. You must feel that belonging in your thoughts, in your emotions, in your decisions, in your posture, in your presence. When you make choices from the version of you who already has the life you desire, you collapse the gap between your current reality and your future reality. You are no longer waiting for the shift, you become the shift. Embodying this truth requires discipline of the mind. When old doubts try to resurface, you redirect your focus. When fear appears, you respond with certainty. When external circumstances contradict your desire, you do not crumble. You remind yourself, I am aligned with a reality that has not yet reached physical form. This level of inner conviction turns you into a powerful manifester because the universe responds to unwavering energy. Another key to embodying this truth is gratitude. Gratitude is the emotional signature of receiving. When you feel grateful before something arrives, you are sending the signal that it is already here. Gratitude aligns your vibration with abundance, with fulfillment, with completion. It tells the universe, I recognize the gift even before it appears. And when you are emotionally aligned with having, you naturally attract more of what you are grateful for. Embodying the truth also means eliminating the energy of waiting. Waiting creates distance. Waiting reinforces separation. When you wait, you are subconsciously affirming it is not here yet. But when you live as if it is here, you pull the manifestation into the present moment. You blend timelines. You merge the unseen with the seen. This embodiment changes your behavior. You speak differently. You think differently. You hold yourself differently. You say no to things that drain you. You say yes to things that elevate you. Your standards rise, your vision sharpens, Your intuition strengthens. You begin to attract people, opportunities, and experiences that match your new identity. And most importantly, you stop questioning your path. You stop needing signs every moment. You stop searching for reassurance. You become the reassurance. You become the sign. You become the proof. And when you operate from this level of inner certainty, the universe cannot withhold what belongs to you. Embodying the truth that it's already yours is the final step in manifestation, because it transforms you into the person who naturally receives the life they desire. This is where effort becomes ease. This is where resistance becomes flow. This is where desire becomes reality. Because once you embody the truth, the universe aligns with you, and everything that is yours begins its journey directly into your life.